Hello and welcome to our food show overview. Over the next few slides, I'm going to talk a little bit about our food show contest and what all it entails. So before we get started, a quick reminder, all youth and adults must be registered on 4-H Online. Youth, if y'all are going to participate in food show, food challenge, go to club meetings, anything like that, you must be an enrolled member on 4-H Online. And adults, if you're going to serve as an adult leader, take kids to and from contests, anything like that, that aren't your own kids, we do ask that you get registered as well. And there's a link there. And if you have any questions during that process, please feel free to reach out to the office and let me know. So, Food Show is one of our individual contests that we have within our food nutrition project area. And this contest is open up to Clover kids, which is going to be kinder to second grade, juniors, third through fifth grade, intermediate, sixth through eighth grade, and seniors, ninth through 12th grade. So, what the food show is, you have a pre selected recipe that you get to pick out based on whatever the theme is for the year. And then you give a little bit of a presentation over your dish that you created to a panel of judges, and then you answer some questions about it. So, this year's theme is a really fun theme. It is backyard barbecue. So, when you're thinking about your recipe, what is your favorite dish at a backyard barbecue? And don't be afraid to showcase any new culinary skills by experimenting with different flavors or using um, that aren't commonly found at a backyard barbecue. So summer isn't the only time for a backyard barbecue. Sometimes a backyard barbecue means that you get to enjoy just some special dishes that you only see at a barbecue. The grill usually comes out, families start gathering around to experiment with some different flavors. So during this time when you're selecting your recipe, just think about if you're going to a backyard barbecue, what you would want to eat there. Remember to try to keep it as healthy as possible. You can even find an unhealthy recipe, make some healthy substitutions so it meets the guidelines for a food show contest. So, real fast, not all barbecue dishes have to be prepared on a grill. You can use stuff like a stovetop, an oven, or any other non cooked methods or using special equipment. Absolutely no open flames are allowed, or any outdoor type grills will be allowed. So please keep that in mind as well. So, our food show contest, when you're selecting those recipes, you have 4 categories you can choose from. Appetizer, which is going to be traditionally a smaller dish or food that is eaten prior to the main course. So, when selecting recipes for this categories, consider foods that are lower in fat, sodium, and calories so as to not ruin one's appetite. For main dish, that's going to be your heaviest and heartiest, most substantial dish of the meal. In a meal consisting of several courses, the main dish is served during the main course and is the featured dish of the meal. The key ingredient is usually a meat or any other protein food, but they may contain other foods as well. Our next category is going to be a side dish. So, side dish are foods that are usually served along with that main dish or with the main course. So, some suggested dishes could be salads, cooked vegetables, cooked fruit, pasta or rice dish, anything like that, or even a combination of vegetable dishes. And then lastly is our healthy dessert. So healthy can still be delicious, even though when we think that desserts, we think of the non-healthy traditional type desserts. So dishes in this category should be served at the end of a meal or for special occasions. And contestants, as I mentioned earlier, can modify traditional recipes with healthy substitutions and consider my plate and dietary guidelines when selecting recipes, not only for this category, but all 4 of our categories. So you've picked your category, now you're going to select a recipe. So you can go through whatever cookbooks, family recipes, anything like that to select your recipe. We just ask that you pay attention to those time limits, especially you seniors, because you will prepare your dish on site at State Roundup if you qualify. So oven time, we want a max of 75 minutes, and then your total prep time, a max of 2.5 hours. No alcohol or ingredients containing alcohol may be used. And keep in mind what ingredients are available in all seasons of competition. This is more specifically for senior age 4-Hers. If they select a recipe now, they need to make sure those ingredients are good for county, district, as well as if they move on to the state contest. And again, select healthy recipes. As I mentioned, you can go to just about any type of recipe cookbook, any online website. There's some different resources that you can see there for that are based on the theme, as well as just some general food and nutrition type resources. If you need help selecting a recipe or you're not sure where your recipe falls, please feel free to give me a call, send me an email, send me a text, any of that, and I will help you get them in the right category, as well as make sure that the recipe is a recipe that does meet kind of our healthy recipe guidelines. So before we talk more about what the food show entails, I want to give y'all just a quick overview of how you sign up for this contest. So all recipes must be submitted through our county webpage. No emailed copies of recipes will be accepted. A lot of times my email box gets overwhelmed with emails and sometimes I lose emails. So please make sure to upload those recipes to our county webpage. If they are not uploaded to our county webpage, you might not be registered for the contest. So when you show up day of the contest, I won't have a recipe for you, score sheets, any of that. All recipes must be submitted using the recipe form, which I will show you on the next slide. And you can find all of this information as well as how to register and where to register on our county webpage. All you have to do is go to tomgreen.agrilife.org/food show. So when I say a recipe form, this is going to be your recipe submission paperwork. I need you to type in this form. Handwritten recipes will be accepted as well. Just remember that I am going to then turn this into a cookbook. So typed recipes are preferred, just so I make sure that everything is exactly as you want it. And recipes must be on this submission form when you submit for the contest. So the reason I ask for recipes to be on this form is for those of you that move on to the district contest, this is how your recipe will need to be submitted. So if we already have that paperwork done, it's one less headache you have to worry about when you're registering for the district contest. So again, this can be submitted on our county webpage at that link that I showed you just on the previous slide. So for those of you who maybe don't know how to write a recipe, we have these two great resources on the county webpage as well. So there is a recipe submission checklist, so you can check through everything that you would need and exactly how to label some different ingredients, as well as an example recipe. So again, if you have any questions on this, please feel free to reach out to me and I will try to help you the best I can. So for our food show, it now has 3 different parts to it. So it has a presentation and interview, a skills showcase, and then a knowledge showcase. So last year they kind of revamped the food show contest to show that the kids were actually learning things and not just memorizing things for the sake of a presentation. So in case y'all didn't do food show last year, all 3 components of the food show will be implemented at county as well as district for all age divisions except for our Clover kids. They will just do the presentation portion. They'll do no skill or quiz element until they become juniors in the 4-H program. So what does the presentation and interview entail? So you will create a dish at home or create your recipe at home and bring a single serving to the contest. Typically, we would have you bring the entire dish to the contest. However, we no longer taste the food following presentations. And we've learned it helps us cut down on food waste as well. And so please bring just 1 serving of your dish or 2 servings if you'd like in a disposable container, and you will not get that container back. We're going to try and run our county contest exactly how the district contest is, so you know what to expect if you move on from county to district. So for the presentation, the kids will have 5 minutes to present their dish, covering the inspiration of the dish, how the recipe relates to this year's theme, which again is backyard barbecue, their knowledge of my plate, and that's all portions of my plate, not just the portions of my plate that are in your dish, the different nutrients in your dish, as well as how you prepared your dish, and then the different food safety concerns that you had to work through while preparing your dish. Following that 5-minute presentation, you have a 4-minute interview with judges, which is just kind of a question and answer type thing. The questions could be anything from basic nutrition, basic food safety, disease prevention, anything like that. Obviously, for our senior age kids, the questions become a little more difficult. But for our juniors and intermediates, we don't try to scare them too much with that portion. And then lastly, You will follow that up with 1 minute to serve your dish. And again, that will be in a disposable container this year. So you'll just give the dish to the judges. And that is a time for the judges to visually evaluate the dish that you prepared. They will not be tasting the dish this year. So the second part is our skills showcase, and youth will be judged on an assigned kitchen or cooking type skill. They'll complete this skill while at the table after their presentation, so they won't have to go to another place. They'll do it right in front of those same judges. All materials needed to demonstrate the skill will be provided for the contestant. No other materials may be used during that time. The interview judges will score their skill based on the correct procedures, safety, and any other pertinent information related to the skill assigned. So, depending on what the skill is, we might attach a time limit to it just so that we're not going too long on those skills and then running over on time. So, I want to give you all a few examples of some skills that might be done. Last year, we did taking the correct internal temperature of a piece of meat, picking between a liquid and dry measuring cup. And then our seniors did some meal planning using some grocery ads. Since many of them were going off to college, we wanted to help them learn a little bit about the consumer education side and making sure to purchase the correct stuff that was still nutritious, as well as keeping them under budget. Let me go back real fast. And real fast, the best way to get prepared for this portion of food show would be to just work on some different things at home while they're preparing their recipe. Have them help cook alongside you and just work through some different things. Work through the types of knives they use and the type of food that they would use those knives on, stuff like that. When you're going grocery shopping, show them a few different options of some of the lower cost items, the best places to purchase those items, and stuff like that. So the final portion is going to be our knowledge showcase. So that is going to be a 10-question multiple choice quiz that all of the kids, minus the Clover kids, will participate in. So that can cover just about anything. You can find the list of resources on our county webpage as well. So that'll be just 10 questions that after they do their presentation and their skill showcase, they'll probably most likely go into the kitchen where we'll have some computers set up and they'll take the knowledge showcase real fast. We won't probably use these scores for anything related to the contest. We just want the kids to be prepared for if they move on to district, that this will be a component of that contest. So some different deadlines and dates. So your recipe does need to be uploaded on the county webpage by October 1. If it is not done by October 1, you will not be able to compete in the county contest. The county contest will be October 16th at 2 p.m. at the Tom Green County 4-H building. So for those of you that are new to the program, that is going to be right by the Animal Rescue and Concha Valley Paws going out towards Miles. Our district contest will be November 17th in Abilene at the Taylor County Extension Office. That district contest will only be open to those kids that qualify from the county contest to move on to district. And for those of you that move from county to district, I'll get you more information on the exact deadlines for that and stuff like that. So I've talked a little bit about where you can find all of our stuff. So on our county webpage, under our contest registration, food nutrition, food show tab, you will find the county letter. I ask that you read that in its entirety. It has a lot of information, most of which we covered in this presentation, but there is still some other stuff that is out there in that letter that I do need you to pay attention to. You'll find the recipe submission paperwork, some different resources, the score sheets, and that recipe writing checklist as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call at the office at 325-659-6522, or you can send me an email at haley.meyer@ag.tmu.edu. I look forward to seeing you at our food show.